Parliamentary Standing Committee on Information and Technology, chaired by the Congress leader Shashi Tharoor, summoned Twitter representatives over issues related to misuse of the platform and protection of citizens' rights. They'd not expected probably what unfolded today. Twitter India's public policy manager Shagufta Kamran and legal counsel Ayushi Kapoor deposed before the panel, but instead of giving straight answers to the questions raised by the parliamentary panel or assuring the members about adhering to Indian laws, the officials chose to put up a defiant front. In fact, when asked if Twitter India would follow the law of the land, the representatives arrogantly, and these are not my words, ladies and gentlemen, these are words quoted by some of the parliamentary members who were part of this meeting, and they said they arrogantly responded and said that they followed their own policies and these were equivalent to the laws of the land. When questioned about how much executive authority do they have in India, the cold response was, "We are not the competent authority on answering this question." And when asked by when will Twitter abide fully with the new IT guidelines, the representatives claimed soon, a phrase they have been using for months without any definitive time frame even to the parliamentary panel. The panel also put the microblogging site firmly in its place, telling them that India is not a banana republic where they can get away with just about anything. The board made it very clear that the rule of law is supreme and they will have to respect it no matter what. And these members on this parliamentary committee don't only have BJP members. There are members from many political parties. In fact, it is chaired by a Congress member, Shashi Tharoor. This panel today also said instances of unilateral action taken by Twitter, for example, against Kangana Ranaut, were uncalled for even before investigation into that matter had taken place. It was a meeting full of tough questions, but vague replies were given. And to tell us more about what transpired in this meet, I'm joined by my colleague who has been reporting on this story. Joining me tonight on the News Hour is Nikunj Garg and Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan, awaiting both of them to give us details of what really transpired. Nikunj, internal security editor, joining me live on the News Hour tonight. Nikunj, what was exactly the question that was posed by the parliamentary panel to Twitter? Were there any clear replies? Was this a question only asked by so-called right-wingers, which read the BJP members of parliament, or were these questions directed at them from across the parliamentary panel and several members from several political parties?
Well, Navika, as you know, that the proceedings of the parliamentary panels are secret and they are not put out in public domain unless the issue so demands with the permission of the speaker. So whatever we are gathering it only through the sources, people who are privy to the dealings or the goings on inside the committee. Now, the questions were there from all sides of the political spectrum. Quite clearly, the right side of this political spectrum was a little more agitated to what they see as Twitter's some kind of inherent bias that it is displaying, at least in the recent past, towards their political leanings or their political views. When question propped up apropos certain actions have been taken, impending investigations, those are obviously more hurtful or hurting to the members of the right. But questions were there from the entire parliamentary panel. On certain questions, many people can say, many neutral observers also can say that there was obfuscation. On certain aspects, members of the Twitter team did assure the panel members that they have absolutely no thought of breaching the Indian laws or disrespecting the Indian laws, and they are in the process of following the Indian all kind of laws, including the penal laws. Now, the fact remains that this is something that has not cut ice with the IT ministry, and the minister himself there at the apex of the political structure, making it absolutely critical, absolutely clear, I beg your pardon, that Twitter has been buying time but not abiding by the laws of the land or the rules that have been recently framed. So quite clearly, there is a lot of brinkmanship going on, Navika, and that was at display in this parliamentary panel meet too. But my sense is that at some point in time, better sense would prevail and Twitter would realize that it is not as if it is being singled out for any kind of biased treatment, and it is important for any firm doing business in India to follow the law of the land, because once you decide to take unilateral action, a large number of your own users on your platform may completely disagree with that, and therefore it must also respect that side of the opinion.
Well, thank you, Nikunj Garg, for joining me on the News Hour. And ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question on the News Hour tonight: is Twitter ready to follow Indian law, or will it continue to be in defiance mode? That's the question and the debate. Twitter dares Indian law. That's the debate on the other side.
News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And with me on this debate is, apart from Gaurav Bhatia, Shehzad Poonawalla joining the debate. Also with me is Sujata Paul. Also joining me tonight is Faisal Kawusa, technology analyst and consulting founder of TechR, joining us this evening. My first question goes to Shehzad Poonawalla. As a very popular social media activist, I want to ask you, Shehzad Poonawalla, Twitter seems to be in a brinkmanship mode. Not only, it has had a history of running in with Indian law, not appointing individuals as per the IT guidelines for grievances, not following the timelines on that, not, even removing the double tick verification on the Vice President of India's personal account, Venkaiah Naidu, including the head of RSS, while several other unknown people, who haven't used their personal handles for a long time, continue to have their verified handles with the blue tick mark. So they have on many occasions actually shown arbitrariness and complete bias in the way they have reacted, and that is the question that was raised in the parliamentary panel today. But Twitter says they have their own policies. Do they think that their own policies are going to be above the Indian law?
Well, Navika, today whatever has happened in the standing committee meeting of Parliament of IT, it shows that Twitter ने अपने आप को स्वयं ही किसी देश को घोषित कर लिया है या स्वतंत्र मुल्क या रिपब्लिक घोषित कर दिया है. Look at the way they behave. When it comes to India and Indian Parliament and Indian laws, they say our principles are also equally important. Can the principles of one company be equal to the laws and the rule of law of a country governed by constitutional democracy? And in United States, by the way, do you know what they say? In United States, they don't send these two small bit executives. They're chief executive officers, including Jack Dorsey or Sundar Pichai or Mark Zuckerberg, go to congressional hearings. And in the last hearing that was held after the Capitol Hill violence, when the Congress members questioned Mr. Jack Dorsey that isn't your platform partly responsible for the Capitol Hill riots, he admitted yes. There they will be accountable. And here you will show double standards. When Singapore demands, you will remove Singaporean variant. When India demands, you will tell India that we cannot do anything. You will say that our laws and our principles apply. Now look at the double standards. Today, those who are doubting and creating this as a free speech issue, today they should stand with Ravi Shankar Prasad, because this is not a free speech issue. This is an issue of accountability. And Congress leaders themselves, whether it was the ad hoc committee report of Jairam Ramesh, whether it was Gaurav Gogoi's articles or various other articles, they have have supported intermediary guidelines in various stages and forms. But today, just because they want to score a political point on Narendra Modi and they want to use this as an issue of free speech, they are trying to target the government. I want to ask them that if this was a free speech issue, can the Congress even have a right to speak about it? They were the ones who bought 66A. They were the ones who imposed emergency. So this is not a free speech issue. This is an issue of Twitter abrogating to itself the entire independence, or like it is having Article 370, that it will form its own government and its own laws. That's not how it will work.
Well, let me get in Faisal. Faisal, I want to ask you, Twitter has been daring India for a long time. November 19, 2018, smashed Brahmanical patriarchy poster behind Jack Dorsey. February 2019, Dorsey summoned by parliamentary panel for alleged anti-right bias. Protests outside Twitter India office for this anti-right-wing policy. September 2020, anti-China handles allegedly blocked. Why? China is not the poster boy for India, and anti-China handles, how can they be blocked? Content deleted. October 2020, Twitter geotags Leh as JNK, People's Republic of China. It takes the minister and the ministry to intervene, to correct this position. Again, in May 2021, you do not follow the deadline of the new IT rules. Twitter just thinks that it is a separate republic, a republic of Twitter, which makes its own policies and lives by them. That can't happen in a democracy like India. And the verified tag on Venkaiah Naidu, as I mentioned, manipulated video, and of course the recent Bahadurgarh Ghaziabad controversy, where you can put manipulated on Sambit Patra, but you will not put manipulated on the tag of the video, where investigations haven't really said anything, and people who tweeted that video in the first place backed off, deleted their tweets. Yet, no manipulated media tag. I want to ask you, does Twitter have the right to make its own laws and live by them in India, or do they have to follow Indian laws? Simple. Faisal, that question's to you.
Okay, hi Navika. I couldn't hear the initial part of the question. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Go on.
Okay. First of all, thanks for having me here. I think, yes, ultimately there is a law of land and everybody has to abide by that. But the nature of technologies, I'll purely talk from technology point of view. The nature of technologies, essentially the digital technologies, the way they are built, they are designed, I think there are issues which will, emerge now and then everywhere. And we need to, I think I said this in previously also, that we need to sort this out on a global platform. Probably India can take the lead. We need to now solve these issues because it's going to happen now and then everywhere.
Faisal, where is the technology problem in removing the verified take on the Vice President of India? Where is the technology problem in tagging Sambit Patra as manipulated but not tagging the Ghaziabad controversy as manipulated? Where is the problem of calling Leh as part of China and not part of India? Where is the technical problem here? Why is Twitter becoming a player in the politics of the land? And that is the question, Sujata Paul, because Twitter this is not about technology. This is becoming an active player in the politics of the land, in the choices that people make, and providing your platform in that manner and promoting, kind of content that you want to promote, and promoting content against individuals you want to be standing against. That can't be Twitter's policy or Twitter's right to do. And it is the first company that has lost its safe harbor tag that all American companies in India have.
The most important point is that there are two issues over here. One is Twitter appearing before the parliamentary panel, because Twitter needs to obey all laws, and we stand, together in this, because when we are talking about our laws, we stand together. But second issue, why is it that this is being made out into such a frivolous issue when we talk about Sambit Patra's manipulated media tag? I stand, and I hope that everybody stands together when it comes to what they did with the map. We stand together. When they remove the blue tick of my vice president, I will question them. They need to answer those questions. But don't we have laws that could have taken place earlier, couldn't have been implemented earlier? Now we've come out with these rules. Fine. But tell me, I am asking again and again, why is that the government is being vitriolic and vengeful at this stage when the government is being called out? It didn't do it in the last 7 years. Why? The government should have done it initially itself if there was a problem. But the government was being shown in great light at that time. And now what has happened is that the government wants to bulldoze its way and bully Twitter to do what they want. They want that everything about the government should be shown properly, and all of us who are the voices of dissent should be labeled anti-nationals. No, this is India. We are...
Sujata Paul, I want to ask you only one question. When there is a video that goes viral and that has the potential of creating communal disharmony, and people who put it out actually delete it and take a step backwards and say that, oh, it's not verified yet. I want to ask you, is this an issue of bullying Twitter? Is this an issue of free speech? Is this an issue of free speech? Okay, you're saying manipulated media tag was very correct for Sambit Patra. Okay, for a minute, if I agree with that. What about this video? Should this not have been called manipulated media as well?
This is what I have said initially also. Now, Twitter can be questioned on a number of things. Now, tell me what Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad has been saying it, and I've watched that interview of his with you also. He is saying that the first originator needs to be told to the government. That's fine. But here, everybody has removed the video and they have been booked. But why is it that the government has a problem with that first originator? So this is not the point over here. And I agree with you. If somebody is put in a video, I also put in that video. But I never...
Sujata Paul, I think you're confused between WhatsApp. I think you're confused between WhatsApp and Twitter. Let me get in Gaurav Bhatia. The first originator issue, deals with WhatsApp. It is not even an issue of Twitter. So you're confusing two different digital mediums. But let me get in Gaurav Bhatia. Gaurav Bhatia, I want you to respond to the basic premise. People now come out and say this is an issue of free speech, and when you take this kind of action against Twitter, bully Twitter as stated by Sujata Paul, then you are displaying your autocratic nature, number one. And secondly, you have used the same platform in your climb up to fame and getting support in India. But today, when it is reflecting a certain different mood within India, you want to disown it and bully it. Respond to that charge.
So, Navika, first of all, world's largest and strongest democracy does not need lessons in freedom of speech from Twitter, a private company. Any company that wishes to operate in India needs to comply with the constitution and the rules of the, country. They are not above the rules. Having said that, look at the conduct of Twitter. They had 90 days to comply. And if they had a grievance, they could have moved the court after that. Ultimately, it would be the judiciary that will decide whether the rules are ultra-virus or they are intra-virus. But Twitter decides not to comply with the rules. And one of the panelists was saying it's an issue of technology. I wish to just ask him, how is appointing senior officers who reside in India and are permanent employees of Twitter a technology issue? Rather, it's a protection for all the users and citizens of the country. But the only reason why Twitter has been emboldened is because Twitter knows that there are parties in India which will not take a clear stand, which will accept Republic of Twitter, but will not accept the constitution given to us in Republic of India. And thus, I conclude by saying, you know, there is a very good example which shows the contradiction. Twitter believes it has very fair rules. It tagged one of the tweets as manipulated media of Mr. Raman Singh and my colleague Sambit Patra. But do you know what the Chhattisgarh High Court said? It stayed the FIR, and I have a copy of the order. And they said the FIR seems to be politically motivated prima facie. Thus, Twitter's view was not correct. And we have more faith in the judiciary of the country, the parliament of the country, rather than a private entity. And last but not the least, this very same Twitter will not have the guts to say the same when they are summoned in the US, by the European Union, by the UK, and would they not comply just like any other company when Microsoft can?
Very well said.
Why can't
US,
they comply?
UK, EU, different policies. In India, even the MD who is an Indian will say, well, I don't know, ask Twitter Inc. But before I go, Shehzad Poonawalla, I want to ask you, Capitol Hill, riots on Capitol Hill flagged by Twitter. But what happened on 26th of January in the Red Fort on Republic Day, certainly not a matter of concern for Twitter. This is not about political parties. This is about selective behavior. Can Twitter run away from the charge of being selective as well as biased in the way it actually is conducting its business as an intermediary?
Absolutely not, Navika. If Twitter adopts such blatant double standards, then one, it is showing that it doesn't care about accountability in India. And point number two, it shows that it is going to apply its rules and guidelines also subjectively, which means it wants to become a 9 p.m. anchor like Navika Kumar. But Navika Kumar is more responsible with the power she wields. And if Twitter wants to play the role of Navika Kumar, then it ought to have the responsibility of Navika Kumar, because with greater power comes greater responsibility. Unfortunately, look at, and Sujata Paul says the timing is wrong. So because of timing, your principles have changed. In America, too, the conversation is about changing the Section 230 of Communication Devices Act, which basically gives the same shield from liability to these social media companies. So is America also clamping down on democracy and freedom of speech? Sujata Paul's arguments are hollow, but that is
America, Japan, Russia. You know, there are many countries that have problems with Twitter, and therefore the question really here is, if you want your own editorial bias, then please come in. Don't be an intermediary of social media. Be the media like us. Be subject to the same laws, the same regulations that we are. Don't stand outside and play on the inside. Don't influence the politics of the land, because Indians are very well placed to take the decisions in their own democracy. This defiance of Twitter clearly will not work. The law of the land, the law of India, above everybody, every company, every commercial interest. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on the News Hour tonight. Have a safe weekend. Be careful. COVID is still around. Take care and be using COVID appropriate behavior. Good night. See you on Monday.